Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the sixth round of the SimRace South Africa simGT Championship. We are at round 6 today, which is Spa-Francorchamps. I'm Ryan Hill commentating for you. I also have my good friend Nick Hodgson in the booth. Nick, how are you doing?
Good evening, Ryan, and good evening, everybody. Of course, this is round 6. We are here. Can you believe it? 6th of December 2021. We've made it through a whole year, but it has come down to this round 6, last round, Spa-Francorchamps in the GT3, and all to play for tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some big names on the field tonight as well. Everyone's wanting to get that last bit of points in the bag and see if they can contend for the championship.
Yeah, definitely. As we saw with the GPs that it wasn't all that wide open. I think Adrianel had wrapped that up before the last round had even started. But here we've definitely got a few permutations that we'll have to keep an eye on tonight. Particularly, we'll have to see what Bashir Jadwat does. And of course, Mr. Zahir Essa, who cannot win tonight, the championship, but can throw a few spanners around.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, Zahir did miss a round or two, which I think is, as you say, put him out of contention for the championship. But still for bragging rights, I think, for the win today. He's currently on pole with about 13 minutes to go of qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if we can, we should have a look at the weather for tonight, because it is Spa, it is the Northern Hemisphere, and it is exceptionally cold there right now. In fact, in real life, it is snowing, and we couldn't set it to actual snow, so that's why you don't see any rain, because I personally count snow and rain as two different things. But anyway, tonight, 10 degrees average ambient, so... for qualifying, remember they are qualifying at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, but the race is going to run, I think, hang on, let me just confirm, the race is something
6
like
o'clock?
6 a.m.
Yeah.
6 a.m. So you're going to see really, really cold temperatures, basically the coldest it can be in a Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Yeah, 10 is the lowest it goes, I think.
Yep. And so these guys are really going to be having to manage those tire pressures, manage those brake temperatures, and manage the manage the tire temperatures as well. Having done a few laps over the course of the weekend at those settings, it's going to be a real challenge for the drivers. I mean, even on one lap, Ryan, I was seeing that pressures drop off hugely, all the way from the source down through Eau Rouge, up and over,
up
and
the Camel
down
Straight.
the Camel Straight.
Yeah,
it was quite incredible.
Yes, excellent. Shall we look at the championship standing briefly? See how things are hotting up here. I believe you've got some figures worked out and who can and can't win the championship.
Yeah, so if we have a look at those numbers, you can see at the top there we've got Bashir Jadwat currently at the top. Now, he is definitely favoured to win the championship tonight. There's no doubt about it. But we do have a few other people that can spoil the party. A watch tonight. So Bash, as I said, at the top. Sean Stratham, Paul Venter, Dwayne Hall, Hugo de Wit, all these guys can get in and amongst Bash, but particularly there we've got a few outsiders, guys like Christian Deploy, Ross Bartle, Kieran Patterson. Those three have all dropped rounds, actually taken 0 points for a particular round. So they're sitting a bit further down than we would generally expect them, whereas Bash has only had one particularly bad round, but he was there, right? So he did get 86 points.
Yeah.
I think that meant he finished in around the top 10, just outside the top 10. So he had a horrible round 3, but he did get points. So he kind of has a banker almost, where those three guys do not. Quade Glassens as well. He could be in it, because we have Mr. Essa, who's won 3 rounds, I think. Where's he gone? Yeah, 2 rounds. Sorry, he's run 2 rounds. So effectively, he took 2 wins away from other people. So we could see a bit of an upset tonight, but it does mean that Bashir Jadwat has to have another shocker for there to be an upset. But it is mathematically possible, and I will be, as we go along, I will be giving you guys a few permutations, what's happening, what's the championship standings looking like. and yeah, we'll keep you updated as we go through.
Excellent, thanks. Speaking of the track itself, let's have a quick look at the track layout. Most people will know the Spa-Francorchamps, quite an epic, classic track. Any particular corners that drivers should be careful of in a GT3 setting, Nick?
So, well, maybe not drivers, maybe Nick. Nick particularly does not like turn 11, which I think is no name actually.
Yeah.
I've always struggled through there, but personally I was finding through Eau Rouge the track limits being quite
Yes. Very easy
accepting
to.
actually.
Oh, really?
They weren't. Yeah, I wasn't struggling at all.
Easy to invalidate your lap normally.
It is, and I was quite surprised not how difficult, but how forgiving it was.
Okay.
Of course, Eau Rouge can always give you a few little nightmares during the race. We'll have to keep a watch out there. Also, which is it? Pouon. That's it.
Yes.
You can get things quite badly wrong through Pouon. That double left-hander that it just sort of sneaks up on you. And drivers, remember, because they're going to be setting the cars up for the race, they are likely, except for somebody like Mr. Esser in the Porsche, which this is not really an option, you're going to be looking for maximum top speed to be able to try and make overtakes and effect overtakes. Whereas through Sector 2, it's always a setup mind games with this track, where if you can gain hugely by running more downforce through Sector 2. But you then lose heavily in sectors 1 and 3. So it's kind of a bit of a toss-up. Do you carry more downforce, go quickly through sector 2, but then you can't overtake during the race. So most people will always run a low downforce setup for Spa. And of course, quite a long track as well. This is one of the longest tracks on the map, but certainly one that should produce some good racing, and we've seen some pretty good racing over the years at Spa.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Right. Okay, we've got just under 8 minutes to go. A quick update. We've got Bashir Jadwat in the Bentley at the top at the moment on a 17.4. I'm pretty confident that the 17.3, 17.2 is going to be possible. I have seen the likes of Ross Bartle do that during practice here, Essa, so I think there could be a little bit more improvement to come. The track is at optimum right now, so the guys are going to be looking to be setting their best possible times. They've already had closing in on 25 minutes worth of qualifying, so they should be nice and loose in the groove. We'll keep an eye on that though. In the meantime though, Ryan, I think we have some announcements for next season.
Yeah, that's very true. So last week we revealed our plans for the simGP Championship, of course having the new Formula RSS Supreme car, and we've announced, at least on Discord earlier today, our plans for the simTC season. That's the Touring Cup or Touring Cars Championship, and we've prepared a little video just to announce and show you what we have in store for next year, so I'm going to roll that clip now.
Every second counts. Every race shows no one can rest on their laurels.
Good morning, welcome to the all-new Audi Sport TT Cup. The lights are out and let's go racing! He uses the push to pass. Everybody comes into this with the same base car, all operated by Audi, not individual teams moving to this championship. They go absolutely side by side. Grip on the inside, no, the door is shut. That was a good race, great job.
There we have it. So of course it's the Audi Sports TT Cup that we'll be using next season.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for that. It's going to be really, really epic to drive. Of course, we were in the 90s, the Super Tourings this year, and that was really good fun. I particularly enjoyed that series, but we've got to mix things up, keep things fresh. We'll all be in the same car, and it's a bit of a push-to-pass season next season,
Yeah.
Ryan, with two of the series using that system.
Yeah, absolutely. So the GPs, we've got push to pass now. The TCs, we're going to have it as well. I think it's going to add quite an interesting element of strategy to the races. See how guys use them, either in reserve for offense or for defense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we're going to have, I think it's 15 uses in the touring cars per race, and 10 uses in the GP cars
Yes.
per race. So yeah, it's really, really going to be strategic. You're not going to be able to use it every single lap, and yeah, there is a recharge time to the push to pass system as well. So you can't just spam it, you know, 4 or 5 times in one lap. And it really gives you a proper boost. It's worth 3, 4, 5 tenths of a second
It's a big boost.
on a lap. Yeah, it's a really big boost. So I expect it to produce some really interesting strategic results, particularly towards the start of the season, where guys are just trying to figure everything out. You know, I know these Audi TTs have been used quite successfully in other series around the world. So I'm really looking forward to it, and of course we are busy finalizing what tracks we're going to be at, and I think we've come up with some real beauties, and it should create some properly tight racing, which is of course what the touring cars is all about.
Yes, absolutely. So guys are also going to have to stay tuned to see what those tracks are in the calendar. We will reveal them in time. We'll also reveal the format changes. We're obviously going to change things up a little bit, take some lessons from last season, but also just, you know, make sure they're suited towards the cars and tracks that we're looking to use in the coming months.
Yeah, absolutely. All sorts coming into play when we decide those. But I tell you what, all sorts is coming into play tonight as well. We still have Mr. Jadwat at the top at the moment in qualifying with just 3 minutes to go. So these guys are really putting in some last-ditch laps right now, because, of course, with 2 minutes 17.48 as the quickest time right now, you've only really got time for one more flying lap. And I was talking, or we were chatting off air just now, Ryan, about how we actually know that the Bentley recently, with the new update that has caused quite a bit of consternation amongst a lot of the drivers over the last couple of weeks, but we know that the Bentley has received a bit of a buff in the last update for Spa-Francorchamps. Where usually this is a track the Bentley doesn't do well at all, but now we're seeing with that little extra buff, and I think the Porsche has actually received a bit of a nerf at the track. So now suddenly Mr. Esser is under all sorts of pressure from both Ross Bartle and Bashir Jadwat.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very interesting to see all the little tweaks that have been made to the cars, and also just how it will influence drivers' choices of car for next season. Often we found that the next season there's a certain picks of cars that are quite popular, and they're normally based off who's won or has dominated the previous season. But then Kunos always likes to throw a cat among the pigeons and changes the bops up, so you never really know how something's going to perform until it's right upon you.
Yeah, absolutely, and it does keep the drivers on their toes, which I absolutely love. So, you know, I'm all for that. And I mean, speaking of, we have Brett Crocump in the brand spanking new BMW M4. So he's shelled out some shekels to get himself in that one. Yeah, shekels in this case being championship points. He's zeroed himself, but I think he's desperate to drive this car for next season, even if it gets a bit of a bop. Yeah, I think he's just really loving the way it drives, the way it handles, and you can see him right up there in 4th position. Now, Brett's no slouch behind the wheel, but you know, in qualifying at least, we're not used to seeing Brett quite so high up and giving Kieran Patterson at the moment all kinds of headaches.
Definitely. Nick, I'm going to quickly go to a 30-second ad break. My broadcasting app has decided to die on me, so I need to quickly restart ACC. So we'll be back in 30.
Fantastic. See you now.
Okay, we are supposedly back. Let me just see if I can reconnect now.
Does look like we're back. Certainly from what I can see on the stream, looks okay. And yep, in car, looking good.
There we go.
Good on board with Mr. Essa.
Perfect, there we go.
Nicely
Broadcasting
done.
up is working again. Just got to iron out some of the Italian nigglies and bugs in the system. Everything comes right.
Absolutely right. So the qualifying is over. Nobody was able no one was able to topple Bashir Jadwat from his pole position. Fantastic lap at 2:17.4. But crucially, both Mr. Essa and Bartle are so close. Less than 2/10 between them. Yeah, it's
6.65.
Yeah, I mean, there's less than 3/10 between the top 6. That is impressive.
It's insane. And look, there's a BMW M4 up there as well now. Of course, we've got a number of guys running the new M4 tonight. Brett, see Alan down in 14th.
No, not Alan. Mr. Alan Patterson, I think. Oh, is he changed?
Yeah, yes, he switched, yeah.
Oh, he switched.
D14, Alan.
I thought he was in the M6.
Yeah, he held out for long, and then I think Chris, his teammate, twisted his arm a little bit. Got him into the M4.
Okay.
So they're both in the M4 tonight. Obviously, they've sacrificed some points to get there, but I think they don't mind too much. They want to give it a go, and I'm sure that means they're quite keen to use it for next season as well. So almost using tonight's race is a bit of a precursor to that. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see what happens there. I shout out to our one and only McLaren as well.
Yeah, that's on screen.
I think it's Dwayne Hall in the McLaren.
141, yeah.
Yeah, he's right up at the top there. 7th place? Is that, am I reading that correctly?
No, I think it's actually Warren Linda in the McLaren. There we go. Unfortunately, he's down in 29th, unless you're seeing another McLaren.
I'm seeing one much further up if you go look
at yes, Dwayne Hall is also in the McLaren. Yes.
So that McLaren is widely regarded by many as being an exceptionally fast car. And it's just one of those cars that, as myself and Dan have been talking about throughout the season, it's just so difficult to tame. Both Ross and Brett tried.
I heard that
last season.
From a setup perspective, McLaren's one of the most difficult cars to sort of get balanced on the track.
Definitely. But yeah, fantastic to see Dwayne up there. Really well done. That is excellent. And a nice.
It's a good mix. I was just looking at that. Yeah, a couple of Bentleys at the top, but yeah, Porsche, BM, Ferrari's up there. Obviously, Clearon's always quick in the Fezzer. Got our top Aston being Sean Stradham in 8th, and then an Audi in the mix. Oh, that's Philip. He switched to the Audi. I believe he was in a different car earlier this season, so he's also sacrificed some points there.
Yeah, which is odd. Again, the Audi, bit of a twitchy car, difficult one to drive, but I know Philip really loves a twitchy car, so that's going to suit him down to the ground, I'm sure.
I was pleasantly surprised to see him choose an Audi when he requested a car change. I was expecting a BMW request again. So good to see someone else going for something else. But Philip's always liked being a little different as well. Even in the previous TC series we've just finished, it was a bit of a Volvo Cup in the end. And I think Philip requested a switch to the Nissan,
Yeah. So fantastic to see him in that. And with 1 minute to go, we've got 7 manufacturers in the top 10.
That's impressive.
7 different manufacturers, I should say, in the top 10. So that's phenomenal work. As these guys are loading final changes to their setups, final tweaks. At the moment, I don't see what sort of temperatures we're looking at. We'll see as soon as we get going.
Yep.
Remember, it's a full
formation lap.
Yep, absolutely. And the guys only go green as they head down through to Eau Rouge. It's not like the F1.
It's going to be some very cold tires and brakes, I think, by the start of the race.
Yeah, I think certainly the Bentleys are generally pretty easy to handle on cold rubber. They're not great. I mean, they're not nice cars to drive, but none of them are. But compared to something like the Porsche, where it really suffers and wants to kill you like you can't believe on cold rubber. So I think Mr. S is going to have to watch out.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see as they start their rolling starts. File into single file, and they'll get into double file closer towards the end of the lap. take this time as well just to say hello to some of the viewers on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I see Yolanda Minar shouting for Philip. Got Hilton in the channel, Henry Rue, Nikki Pearson, hello. Got Byron shouting for PWSR, Mike McGear shouting for BWR, Nico Nell, Chepo. Yeah, welcome guys. Have a good viewership. Hope you enjoy your stay. Hope you got your drinks and snacks.
Yeah, because it's about to get crazy now. So, alright, everybody going down Kemmel Straight, as you can see, fairly well behaved at the moment. We've seen a few instances, particularly at the beginning of the season, where guys got drive-through penalties as they crossed the line for just not staying in the correct position, being a bit close, being a bit far for too long. Certainly as you really start to line up just before you go over the start-finish line, got to make sure you're in either left or right, whatever it's telling you to do. But I think everybody is pretty well versed in that by now.
Yeah.
See guys really barreling into corners where they can to try and warm up those tires, warm up those brakes. But nobody has a spin. We could see that. You never know.
Yeah, little cold tires. People get a little over eager. I see some guys are quite keen on weaving to get some heat in their tires. Other guys just like to just keep their line and stay true.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see the various tactics, and we have seen it throughout the season. Guys doing different things. You can see Bash, I think at the top there, is weaving quite a bit. Ross weaves quite a bit. Whereas Zahir doesn't quite as much. But again, that might be something to do with the Bentley. Maybe it needs to warm up the tires more. Maybe the Porsche doesn't. I don't know. Unfortunately, not driving that heavily in ACC anymore. I've kind of fallen out of the knowledge with it. You can see Ross and Brett, their teammates, of course, for this season. But Brett in the M4 with a brand new livery, whereas Ross is running what I guess I can call the old school livery now.
Yes.
Right, here we go. So it's about halfway around the lap, maybe a bit further. A bit further than halfway around. Tell you what, if I was in the car at the moment, I would certainly be not enjoying this full formation lap. This really is a killer at the moment. Such a long lap and very, very little opportunity to warm those brakes and tires.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see I brought a little track map up on screen now. You can see all the dots as they make their way around the track, or worm their way around the track. Nicely bunched at the moment. No one's falling too far behind.
Everybody's doing quite well. Everyone's doing very well. The bus stop chicane, we'll see. I think that's where we'll see the drivers go side by side in preparation for the start. But of course, we will then go around La Source.
Yeah.
I always get confused with the names. Yeah, it is La Source. I always get confused at Spa. Please excuse my ignorance, despite it being one of my favorite GP tracks.
The other thing that's very long on this track is the pit straight itself. Depending on whether they're going through the old one as well, or just is the game only making them go through the one main modern pit?
The pit entrance is here. Here is where the pit entrance is, so they go all the way around.
Yeah.
The Spa, I do actually remember this. This is the worst track to have to pit at. So, of any track in the whole game, I would say, and certainly of the whole season,
Here we go.
Do not want to have to do a drive-through.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
or an extra pit stop or anything. Like, do whatever you can not to have to do that.
See, it looks like Kieran hogging the middle of the track there. He's got to be really careful to make sure he doesn't get a penalty for being out of position. Someone flashing their lights there.
Yeah, what's going on?
Squiggly and squeezy.
Yeah, here we go though. Here we go. Right, now the driver's going to line up properly.
See when Bash makes his run.
He'll do it as it goes green. Essa's right by him. Look at that. Essa's probably ahead. How is that?
Yeah, he's got to watch out to not get a penalty as well.
Oh, Bash needs to get a move on.
Bash must hurry. Yeah, I think he's probably trying to get a.
Here we go. Okay, now they're about right. Here we go. Green
Lights
light.
up.
Off we go. Immediately into Eau Rouge and up and over the other side. little bit of a tap I saw just behind there. You guys using the escape road, but everybody in the top 10 is through, no problem. Ross Bartle all over the back of Zahir Essa. That is phenomenal driving by Bartle and Jadwat and Essa.
Oh,
We can go
all
see
there.
3 wide.
Side by side.
That's so close. That is so close. Bartle just backing up a
Tucks
little
in
bit,
behind now.
getting a bit of a slide through the corner as well. But they are so far line astern and not having to worry too much.
I see, unfortunately, Philip Minna got a drive-through penalty on the start there.
I see that. Maybe a bit of inexperience there. Possibly a bit of an inexperience, but we at the front. Ooh, actually, Kieran Patterson has got ahead of Brett Crocump. I do see that now. And Crocump is falling into the clutches of Christian Deploy, who, of course, is very well versed in that Bentley as well.
Definitely, Kieran's already made up one position. I think he's going to be gunning for a podium in this race.
Yeah, of course, remember that Kieran has won a race this season, his first ever podium even at SimRace SA. So a fantastic result. He's had a really, really solid season, always been there and thereabouts, has old Kieran. Loving that Ferrari, as you said before, Ryan. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out for him. Tonight.
Yeah, Kieran's done a really good job this season. I think I may stand to be corrected, but I believe his dad Alan actually brought him into the sim racing world, and at that point, you know, I think Alan was doing a little bit better than him on average, but now I think definitely the student has become the master, and Kieran has overtaken Alan.
Yeah, and I also think that their tastes in vehicle have changed slightly.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that they started off in the same cars a few seasons ago.
Yes.
But now, of course, Kieran's settled down nicely into that Ferrari.
Yeah, he's loving the Ferrari. I do see him in some of the other championships around where he consistently picks the Ferrari from what I've seen. But why not, you know? Stick to one car and you learn its ins and outs and get really good with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so I do see Bash is pulling a little bit of a gap on Essa right now. Doing
There's a
very
bit of a
well,
gap
pulled
there,
out
yeah.
almost a second. There's no DRS, obviously, but does have Ross Bartle for company, does Mr. Essa. And surprisingly, Bash setting the fastest lap of the race right now. Oh, look at this, Bartle all over the back. You do know that even though the Bentley's not the quickest in a straight line, the Porsche is really slow in a straight line. So
here going to defend hard right now.
Yeah, definitely. And this is going to allow Jadwat to absolutely scamper away just what he wanted, just what the doctor ordered for Bash's championship hopes. That's for certain.
Yeah, that's for sure. When you see guys behind you fighting and defending, it's almost it's a really good feeling when you just see that happening in your mirrors, and you know you can just concentrate on putting in the perfect laps with the line length, you know, opening up that gap and that advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't ever have to worry about compromising your line whatsoever. So, Ryan, if you had to pick a driver tonight, who's your money on?
I reckon Kieran is going to pull something out the bag.
Alright, nice. We've got some support for the PWSR driver.
And the Ferrari. I'm a massive Ferrari fan.
Okay. I really feel like I have to throw my support, I think, behind Ross Bartle. He's had a bit of a tumultuous season so far, and I feel like he could really do with a properly solid result. But like I usually do, I do try and hedge my bets a little bit, but I think Christian Deploy can do quite well tonight as well. Watch out for him later on in the race.
Yeah.
Bartle having a look at Essa. Ooh, Patterson diving up the inside, absolutely throwing it.
Oh, and they're side by side at the exit now. Can he keep it? Can he make it stick?
Not quite. See some flashing lights there with
certainly some frustration.
With Patterson. Yeah, definitely a little bit of frustration.
Oh, he's trying to stick his nose in there.
Yeah, and of course, Bartle with Crocump as a bit of a rear gunner there.
It's just a wall. There's no way past.
Yeah, exactly. So
but we've got to watch
very
this.
much in a point-blank sandwich.
Got to watch Orige Radion and see what kind of a drive he gets onto the Kemmel Straight here, and see if he can get a good draft. Oh, there's someone exiting the pits there. Who's in that Aston?
That's Philip. Oh,
no, Philip's in the Audi. One of Philip's doing his drive-through probably, but that Aston's getting right out of the way for a blue flag. Good job.
Oh, that was Prius. I don't know. I can't tell.
I think it could have been... Quay Claessens is currently in the pit in the Bentley. I think it was... may have been... Mark van Rensburg?
Ooh, Christian deploys, had a spin. He's had a spin coming through Eau Rouge. So he is now dropping down like a stone at the moment. He's in 22nd place, about to be 23rd.
See if I can get a 30-second replay on Christian. See what happens here as he goes up Eau Rouge. Oh, he just loses it and he goes sideways. All on his own there, unfortunately.
Cold tires, cold everything, not quite got everything up to temperature, up to pressure, etc.
Yep.
And certainly he's paying the price as Patterson is... Hang on, Patterson's dropped behind Krookamp. We missed that, but Patterson is now behind Krookamp. I wonder if Krookamp will manage to, with that exeter from the pits, get a bit of a run on Patterson and make a pass count, make it stick.
Yeah, it's very possible that they got caught out by that car exiting the pits there at the worst possible time.
Yeah, with the Unerman Prius now having done his mandatory pit stop, must have had an awful first lap and decided to pit immediately. He's now in amongst as a back marker. So Bashir Jadwat is passed already, but Zahir Essa is now right behind him and looking to effect a maneuver, and does so beautifully on the exit of the bus stop. Virtually no time lost whatsoever. Yeah. And Bartle just flashing his light saying, "Hey son, I'm coming. Expect me to make a move just now."
He gets well out of the way.
Yeah, very well done from Prius. Really well done, Bartle. Krookamp straight through, and Patterson. Although I think Krookamp probably lost out the least there. He really got a great exit, and did exceptionally well. Guys are starting to pull apart at the moment.
Yep, just going to go and have a little bit slow down the field. Oh, someone's going very wide there. Is that Endrin going wide?
No, he didn't go wide. There was some behind him, but Endrin is all over the back of our very own Alan Patterson.
There we go, yes. Having a little look.
That would be brave, Endrin. That would be brave. Just because you saw Kieran make an absolute dive bomb of a move. Pretty good move, though, to be honest. Clean racing from all the guys. A little bit of door handle bashing, but that's okay. You don't need the door handles. You're already in the car. But yeah, Endrin having a great race up to 8th.
Yes,
really good
start.
race. If you can keep it nice and solid, that'll be on for a great result. Probably his best result. Oh, he's now Hannes van Veek is all over the back of him in the Aston, looking to go. Oof, never on the inside of Puan there. Not a chance. But he's still all over the back of Governor. Oh, so close. These guys.
He's definitely putting a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, Endrin going very defensive on the entry to campus.
That's given Alan a bit of a breather as well. Who was a second ago, Endrin was up his tailpipe.
Yeah,
but now he's found himself having to defend hard against Hannes.
You see, the Ferrari should be excellent on the exit here. It really should be good being a mid-engine car, but Hannes has got that Aston absolutely hooked up. We do know that the Ferrari is pretty much the quickest car in a straight line.
Yes, definitely.
From Paul Ricard, I seem to remember the Ferrari absolutely monstered the straights, so Hannes is going to have to be a little bit patient here and pick his moment.
Having
Someone
a look
else
currently.
in the pits. Sorry, we've got Ronald Childs in the pits. Just didn't see too much damage on his car, but I'm wondering if he's decided to pit early.
Yeah, his Bentley is parked there. Maybe sorting out a bit of damage that we didn't see. Taking an early pit stop, adjusting the strategy.
Ooh, Chris Heineke is quite close behind Chris DeSantos, Battle of the Critters. And DeSantos looks like he's got a very second-hand BMW.
Yes, that already. Bonnet lid is definitely lifted over there.
Oh, come on, Chris, you've only just bought the car and it's already already needing some duct tape. So, yeah, Heineke looking to try and effect a pass on DeSantos. But that Porsche is not going to be quick in a straight line. So even in the slipstream, I don't imagine this Porsche is going to get anywhere close to DeSantos, just even with the damage. But let's see what happens.
It's a little gaining. He's having a little look now. Will he make a dive? No, it's not close enough.
Bartel is getting quite close to Essa right now. I'm keeping an eye on that battle for the moment. I will give you a shout if it's good to switch to, but they are quite close together now as they go through P1.
A little bit. Look further down the field here. I see Sass getting side by side with, in fact, just passed by the looks of it, Lexus of Hugo de Wit. Tower's a little bit out of date, but it should bump up in a sec. So that's a good move, Sass.
I tend to try and look at the track map. I know you don't have it open at the moment, but the live track map tends to allow me to work that out as it happens. Oh, Bartel has got a good exit. Really good exit coming down towards the bus stop. Will the Bentley be able to catch the Porsche? Is he going to be brave on the brakes? Look how this is close now. This is close.
He's got to be thinking there's an opportunity here.
Yeah, but Essa is a wily old fox. He'll know to block the inside of the bus.
Parking it, yep. Parking it on the exit there.
In fact, the last season I did of ATC, I was in the Bentley and Zahir Essa was in the Porsche. And Essa was having an off day at the time, and I just couldn't make a pass going into the bus stop chicane on him, no matter how hard I tried. And I was actually doing myself a little bit of disservice. I should have been looking for the exit of the chicane. And I think Bartel is going to know that and really be trying to line up a move much better than I ever could.
Ross is thinking about it, having a look.
Hard on the brakes. But that's actually where he needs to try and make a move, I think. Not the bus stop chicane.
Yeah.
Might seem a bit more
at the end of the Camel Straight.
Yeah, so he needs to really concentrate on getting an amazing exit from the source and then using the extra speed he'll have in that Bentley over the Porsche to get in front of him at Sector 2, because this is where Essa will now start to pull ahead. You'll see the gap grow, so it was a 10th, and I expect this to be around 3 or 4 tenths by the time they finish Sector 2, because the Porsche really is basically unbeatable through this section.
Yeah, with the twisties for sure.
Right, so as they exit point, you can see the gap has increased. Although Bartel really good on the brakes there. Wow,
yeah, closed
that
up
was
a lot.
amazing. So yeah, Bartel doing exceptionally well. If he gets the world's best exit here, it is possible to try and then make it move on the bus stop chicane, but I don't know. I think playing the longer game is going to be the way forward. Just keep in nice and tight through bus stop, then look to try and make a move around the source.
Let's see how close the Bentley gets to under braking. Tantalizingly close. Oh, is there a bit of contact?
Oh, no,
oh, he's turned him around.
Turned him around. I think he's going to wait.
He's waiting offline, yeah.
Yeah, very well done. That is super unfortunate for both drivers. Just the slightest tap and that Porsche went around. And that's allowed Patterson, Croker and Patterson sail through.
Yeah, sneaks a pass, yeah.
Dwayne Hall now all on the back of that battle. So that's seriously unfortunate. I hope neither driver is carrying much damage. I don't think they
it
will
looked like
be.
a fairly light tap, but it was obviously enough through the bus stop when you're accelerating like that, so you're just gonna spin.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just having a look at Bartel. His bonnet doesn't look too damaged to me. Let's have a look at Essa, the rear of Essa. I don't see much damage on the rear of Essa. I think both drivers will have got away fairly damage-free. But in fact, Bartel carrying a bit of damage on the rear bumper. He must have had someone give him a love tap at some point.
A little bit of scuffing. I don't really see too much panels out of shape there.
No, I don't think it'll affect his performance too much, but this has, of course, allowed Jaguar to scamper away even more. 6 seconds now, the gap, because, of course, Crowcumber is now in second. Brett doing a phenomenal job at the moment in that BMW M4.
Sporting the nice new livery. Grumpy monkey. They've done a great job of hiding that front radiator.
Which they claim they don't mind too much, but I reckon that's
not the prettiest front nose, I'd say.
Definitely not. Chris Heineke really on the back of Santos now. Santos running wide. This is for 13th place actually. Unlucky for some, but as they go through campus, Heineke's really putting a lot of pressure on the Santos. The Santos really feeling it all over the place at the moment. Of course, carrying that damage.
That damage, yeah.
Possibly his tires are suffering a little bit because of it. You don't know. I'm not sure how he's driving the cars. And in fact, that brings me on to an important point. With the update that Assetto Corsa Competizione has just brought through, from what I understand, the tires, as Heineke tries to go around the outside, that is unbelievable through Blanchimont. The Santos doing everything he possibly can to try and
see how hard he's
that
pushing.
Porsche.
And that he had to ran wide as a result.
Deep, yeah, he ran deep into the bus stop as well. So this is he's actually giving Heineke a bit more opportunity than he possibly needs to. But with the new update, apparently the way you drive on the tires makes a much bigger difference than it ever used to. So as I see, who's that? Simon is in the pits for a drive-through penalty.
Yes, Christie's got a penalty.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's for track limits. Patterson is very close to Crocombe now. And Bartle again to Essa. So we could see a little bit of action here. Personally, I'm sticking with the Patterson-Crocombe battle at the moment.
Yep.
I would like to see Heineke try and make a move on Dos Santos. Bit difficult to know where to look at the moment, Ryan.
Yeah, there's a couple of mini battles around the field. I've just cast my eye further down as well. I'm seeing some 0.0s flash on my screen, but it might just be guys going past the guys in the pits.
He's just made looked like an overtake. I'm not sure.
He has
I think he is up to 18th now, and I think he's just past Hugo.
He's just past Hugo in the Lexus again, yeah.
Those two having a ding-dong battle right now.
Swapping
and
places.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, they're all very
relatively close, yeah.
Yeah. So all to play for down there in the in the mid-pack. Bartle again closing up heavily as he looks toward the bus stop chicane. He's kind of experiencing exactly what I did all those seasons ago, where
but look how he just parks his car in the inside corner there.
Yeah, exactly. But this is where he needs to be close. Going into the source and the exit of the source. This is the key.
He's going to make a move stick. It's not going to be at the bus stop.
It just doesn't look like he's close enough. Coming out of the bus stop, Essa in that Porsche, and the way it puts the power down, just gets
able to get
enough of a gap that Bartle can't do anything about it. So I'm going to go on board with Essa and just have a look what speed he gets to on the Kemmel Straight. 261, but he only just gets there. Whereas I think you'll find Bartle is probably going to be pushing about 264, maybe a bit more. Okay, so Fenter, who's also in the Bentley, did 266. So yeah, I mean, Bartle's going to have a fairly large advantage there.
Yeah.
Oh, I just went on board with Crow Company. Went very, very sideways through No Name. He pulled out a great gap to Patterson, and Patterson's not closed in on him again.
I can get a 10-second gap, yeah. Yep, there he goes, drifting it around, and he goes wide.
So potentially we'll have got a track cut for that as well. Depending on whether or not the game has deemed him to have gained an advantage.
Yes. It's very true. You'll get... Is it 2 warnings and your third is a penalty, or is it 3 warnings and then a penalty?
Oh, now you're asking me. I think it's 3 and then a penalty.
Yeah.
think it's 3 and then a penalty. But guys in the chat, comment, tell me if I'm wrong here, please.
Skipping down to Paul Fenter quick on the back of Endrin Govender. It's also relatively close.
Yes, that's a good one. Endrin's not got the best. Oh, Fenta had to come off the gas there. I think Endrin will now scamper away in that Ferrari. There's no way. You don't even need to weave, Endrin. You don't need to worry. You're in the Ferrari. There's no such thing as a slipstream when you're in the Ferrari. Must be so frustrating to be Ross Bartle right now. Just unable to get that pull away out of the source and the bus stop. Issa just scampers away. Even though he's got less top speed, it doesn't really seem to matter.
Let's jump back down to Sass now. He's found himself. Yes. I'm not sure if this is traffic or if it's position.
No, it's all
no,
it's
positions. Yeah. Looks like he's got Jotun van Ascherken and the Lexus just ahead of him.
And the Harvest Boyser in front of them as well. This is all pretty close stuff. Fantastic racing up and down the field here at SimRace, and that's what you can expect from all of our divisions. Really, if you are thinking about joining, now's the time to get involved, because we are at the end of the season, so now's the good time to be prepping for next season, joining a few of the fun races that we're going to be having. It's a really good time to jump in, and no matter your skill level, you really will find a battle on track.
Look at this, look at Chris Heineke and Crystal Santos. They're side by side right now.
Goodness, that is an interesting place to make an overtake.
I think Chris has made it stick, yeah.
Yeah, finally. It's been like 7 or 8 laps that this battle's been going on. Currently Porsche ahead of BMW.
That was a great move, looked very clean. Fortunately, Chris will probably be just feeling a little bit bitter after nursing that damage. It's probably inevitable that Chris Heineke got past there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Definitely nursing it. I'm sure he'll repair it in the pit stop phase, which, to be honest, I do expect to be halfway through the race. Remember, this is an hour and a half race.
Yeah.
We currently have 1 hour and 7 minutes to go, so still plenty in this sprint race, GT. But you do have to make pit stops. So I'm not expecting too much in the way of track evolution from a temperature perspective. So currently sitting at 10 degrees air, 10 degrees track. So I think these guys are just going to run it halfway, jump in, change everything, change tires, etc.
Thanks, Keegan Sanderson on the YouTube chat confirming for us it's 3 warnings and then a penalty for your track limits.
While we're blathering on about track limits, I see Sas van der Westhuizen has got himself up to 16th, so that little train of cars that we saw him at the start of the lap, he's already worked his way past both Van Aswagen and Boyser as well.
Yep, doing very well.
Sas in that lap. And
a couple cars, well. Cars behind Sass. There's Hugo and Jotun look pretty close there, battling it out.
Yeah, Hugo's been pretty consistent and fairly quick in that Lexus.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to see some Lexi high up in Div1.
Yeah, absolutely, and doing very well. It's quite a weird car, the Lexus. When you jump in initially, you're pretty quick in it. It's one of the cars I've.
It's a great starter car, yeah.
Yeah,
the
but
base setups are decent.
It's difficult though afterwards. You know, to get any further with it.
Yes.
It becomes a bit twitchy. Here we go, David. Looking to make a pass, going for that 18th spot, diving down the inside.
He's got it.
Given the room, and he's got it. No
great
worries
pass
whatsoever. A fantastic move. Great pass into Lecom. Now, Van der Westhuizen Sas is closing in on Warren Linder now.
Yes, definitely looking very threatening.
Yeah, very racy is Sas at the moment. I don't know what sort of NOS tank he's got in the back of that Ferrari at the moment.
He's looking up the inside?
That Puon is not the place to affect the pass.
Sticking his nose in there when it's going to close. That door is going to
Just-
close very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Just after I'd sung your praises as well. Oh, and he's going. Oh my goodness, Sus. You got the speed, my friend. You got the speed. Just hang on for
Gotta
2
have
seconds.
the patience, yes.
Yeah, hang on for 2 seconds. Get a good run. Get a good run coming out of Stavilo, and then through turn 16. Yeah, here's where you want the good run now, Sus. This is where you want to be close. Now you'll have the pass done. No worries.
Oh, he's nice and close to Warren there. Still
Yeah, that
sticking with
Ferrari's
him.
flying.
Actually, the McLaren's hanging on.
Yeah, that's impressive at the moment. Surely, yeah.
Here we go. There's some momentum. There's.
Oh, but he's got the inside. Covering the inside very well is Linda.
Yep.
But now, look at the exit. Oh, he's gone a bit deep. So should get a better drive. It's allowed Hardest Boyser to really close up as well. So this is bringing that whole train, that whole gaggle of cars
Indeed.
together.
Yeah, there's Hardest Boyser in the BMW. I'm sure he's licking his lips at this battle in front of him as well. Seeing if he can take an opportunity. He might even have it here. Warren and Linda had to run very wide there, which has put him in danger. I think Sass has got the move done, but he's put him in danger of the BMW behind now. They're going to be side by side.
That's
Oh,
brave.
that is so brave.
Oh, but now they've had to be slow. They were slow through there.
Yes.
Look at this. Here we go. That's a great move. That's a great move.
He's going to come back at them in
Hugo.
an Lexus.
Hugo, is that 2 spots? I think it's 2 spots. Hugo is absolutely desperate to chase down his rival Sass in this race.
That's some
Whatever.
great racing.
That was phenomenally done, chaps. Well done. As I said, amazing racing up and down the grid tonight. Fantastic stuff.
Just having a look at Paul Fenter on the back of Adrian Govender now. And there's also Hannes van Veek quite close behind as well, the Aston.
Paul bizarrely, I don't want to say use the word slow, but Paul is generally exceptionally fast in that Bentley. We're used to seeing him fighting for podiums, and tonight he's just struggling a little bit. And Hannes van Veek is all over the back of him.
Looking very threatening there at the back, yeah.
Very shiny purple Aston Martin. Another good battle on track for this.
Oh, Hannes almost got a bit squiggly there under braking.
Every now and again I keep checking in on the Bartle Essa battle and it just seems to constantly be sticking.
That gap is
Just
pretty constant. Yeah.
It's so close by the end of the Kemmel Straight, and then it's just as you were.
Maybe Ross is just biding his time, just happy to sit behind Zahir until the dying stages of the race and then make a move, and then it's too late for Zahir to make another pass.
I would hazard a guess that Ross is desperate to get past, actually. Because I think he probably thinks he's got the pace to recover up to second place. I don't think Brett will fight him for that position, to be honest. Because I think Brett will want him to do as well as he possibly can in the championship. And despite it being a podium for Brett.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see who pits first here.
Oh, Sass has had an incident.
Oh no, Sass.
I think he's done an Eau Rouge, and fortunately,
dropped down a few positions there.
yeah, but that battle for 15th, 16th is mighty.
Still ongoing, yes. Yeah, half an hour in, and yeah, battles all over the track. Yeah. Paul's making a move on Endrin, or had a little look. Hannes van Veek is so close behind in that Aston.
Yeah, for 8th as well. Endrin Governor has got. Oh, Endrin Governor's Paul Fenter all over the back of him. How is Paul getting that Bentley so fast?
Keep keeping up with the pace of the Ferrari there.
Yeah, engine doing well, running a bit deep. Oh, that's close. That is close. Almost side by side there through the bus stop on the exit. But it has given engine the better exit from the bus stop, and now Fenton. This is where Fenton needs to be close as he possibly can.
Yes.
Although, given the top end of that Ferrari, I would hazard a guess at saying it's not going to do too much as we dip under the hour mark now. Ooh,
Oof, so wiggly over there.
Interesting to see on board in a replay. I don't know if that's possible, because I reckon you'd see some steering corrections going on there.
I'll try. Let's see if I can go 30 seconds back.
So interestingly, Jadwat is 7.3 seconds ahead now.
This is on board with Fenton now.
Oh, no, cool.
Seemed relatively calm, yeah.
Yeah, cool as a cucumber. So Jadwat has got a 7.3 second lead now, but it's been a good 10-15 minutes since we last sort of checked in with the leader gap, and I wouldn't say he's blasting ahead of Crocomp either. He's
managing his tires, managing the gap.
Could be. I mean, Crocomp pulled out 0.3 of a second there, so I think Brett is just having a stonking race right now. And I think Jadwat is possibly just managing his pace. I don't know if you can see what sort of lap times he's doing.
Let's see. His last lap time was a 2:18.710, which it's about a second slower than his best. I don't know if the best is taking quality into account as well. But yeah, certainly no slouch. 2:18.71. It's actually, from skimming down the field, one of the quickest laps. So yeah, maybe he's not managing.
Alright. Bartle is continually frustrated by Essa. I wonder if Essa is just really enjoying being able to keep Bartle behind him. It's a really epic display of defensive driving, and knowing what your car is good at. Essa knows that the Porsche will have a really good exit from the bus stop and a really good exit from the source, and he's using that to his advantage. He's making sure, so everybody pay attention, he's making sure not to make a mistake where his car is strongest, so he can help himself as much as humanly possible. Not overdriving the car in those sections either.
Oh, watching Ross get a little squiggly behind Zahir right now.
Just falling back very slightly there. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, still a train, but Governor does seem to have the upper hand now on Fenton. Fenton, remember, was all over the back of Governor just a little while ago, but at the moment there's about a second gap between them, so Indran found some pace. Paul's struggling a little bit, not sure which, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. We've got Warren Linda and Sas van der Westhuizen.
Sas is making a move, I think. It's having a little look. No, just a look. Tucks back in.
A bit too far back. Oh, and a slide. Mid-engine on mid-engine. Porsche on McLaren. So it's not afraid to chuck his nose in interesting places.
Looking very aggressive.
See what happens.
Like he's looking. He's making it move. There we go. Nice. Up the inside. Yeah, I'm sure he's...
little move there at Brussels, I think that is.
Yeah. Desperate to make up some places again, I'm sure, after his slide earlier.
He's got good pace in that Ferrari. It's just unfortunate he made that mistake. I think we will see him catch up to the back of 16th quite quickly now. We'll keep an eye on that gap between himself and Boyson.
Yeah.
Again, I think Bartle and Essa are the closest battle on track. We've got Christian Deploy has done his pit stop. I think he's literally just come out the pits now. rejoined all the way down 25th. But as I said, remember, a pit stop here is very long pit stop.
Yep, so he's got it done early. We might see him climb quite a few places in the latter half of this race.
A couple of people pitting early. I'm guessing most of that is for damage. I wonder, didn't you see deploy spinning a little earlier on?
Yeah, we did.
Right, so maybe that's also got to do with his earlier pit stop. I really just can't bring myself to take my eyes away from this Essa Bartle battle. It's such a cat and mouse thing. Although once again, Fenter has now closed up again on Governor. So those two also concertinaing like you can't believe. It does feel that I think Henry is a little inconsistent through Sector 2. I think that has allowed Fenter to close up occasionally. You see going through prawn that Henry wasn't using all of the track on the exit there, so just needs to I think relax a little bit, allow the car to do the work for him, get that rhythm, get that flow going.
Hannes van Wyk and his Aston's also still hanging on to this battle here.
We've got Bartle in the pits. Bartle is trying the undercut. He has finally got frustrated enough with Essa that he's making a move at 52 minutes into the race. So he's about 7 minutes early, or let's call that 3 laps maybe. 2 laps and an in lap early, I would say, on his pit stop. So we need to keep a very, very close eye. He was right on the back of Essa when he dived into the pits. Yep. So now Essa's going to be looking to try and set his best.
He's going to be doing some quality lap times now, I'm sure. He's got some clean air in front of him. He no longer needs to defend.
I'm going to try and see where Bartle pops out and kind of how far S has gone around the lap, just to give us a little bit of an indication, or hopefully a bit of an indication, of when Essa comes in, where on the track does Bartle need to be in order to try and come out ahead.
Yep.
It will also be interesting to know if Bartle is going to repair his damage. That's difficult for us to tell, because he had so little.
See, Jackie Jokers in the chat is asking that, or pointing out that most are exceeding track limits, and is this allowed? So, to a degree, what we've seen is that Assetto Corsa Competizione will issue you with 3 warnings for exceeding track limits before issuing you a is it a drive-through or stop-go? Drive-through.
Drive-through. Ooh, yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Dwayne Hall, currently in 6th now, has had an issue, spun the car. I don't know if that was contact with
See if I can catch it on a replay. Gone 30 seconds back on him now.
Let's have a look. We will get back to your question, I promise. I think he's
on his own. Yeah, I don't see Alan anywhere close. No, he's just slid. A little bit of a tank slapper, and then
bit of McLarenitis there, and
fortunately no contact with the wall.
On those horrible rubber marbles as well.
Yeah.
So you lost a position, but now is into the grips of, or starting to come into the grips of Indian Governor in 7th.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a bit of a drama there for Dwayne Hall, but still doing pretty well in 6th place for that McLaren.
Yeah, not bad at all. So going back to the track limits, it will also only give you a warning if it decides you've gained an advantage. So if you've gone slow enough or you're off your delta, then yeah, you're not going to get a warning.
Marcus Stain has picked himself up a stop-go 30.
Oh, that's
and
unfortunate.
That is eating in the pits. That's really not too much, because now you've got to go through the pits again. And
it's very punishing at Spa. Yep.
That's a killer. That's basically a lap penalty.
He's going to be kicking himself for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, big time. So also remember, Assetto Corsa Competizione monitors track limits itself. We don't do it for.
It's all automated.
It's automatic. But you can exceed track limits as much as you like if you don't gain an advantage. The game won't penalize you if you don't gain an advantage. So that's the key. So when you see these guys running wide, if the game says, well, you haven't actually gained an advantage, then it's absolutely fine and nothing will happen. And these drivers will typically know where it's okay to do so.
Yeah.
And they won't gain any time by doing so, but it does allow them a little bit of a breather in terms of they don't have to concentrate quite so hard on maintaining the track limits. So some tracks are pretty strict on it. Paul Ricard, for example, is exceptionally strict, whereas other tracks like Laguna Seca, for example, is very liberal with track limits because Laguna Seca on the outside has horrible, nasty gravel and sand traps.
Yeah, you're going to hurt yourself anyway.
Has only tarmac. So.
Although I learned something interesting the other day about Paul Ricard as well. You know, you've got those blue stripes and the red stripes. They actually have different surface textures, and they're modeled accurately in the game, such that if you go over them, the wear on your tires is going to be extreme. And apparently that's, you know, in lieu of having gravel to try and slow the car and obviously create more friction and slow the car down. And apparently it's quite punishing in Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Yes, I did hear all of the drivers talking about it, but I never saw anybody go far enough to the red, which I think is the...
Red's on the
heavy
outskirts,
stuff.
yeah.
I never saw anybody quite make it that far. What we have missed, unfortunately, with all our
pitting.
prattling, is Essa pitting.
Yeah.
And he has absolutely blitzed Bartle. I think Bartle got stuck in some traffic on his exit, so he was fighting for positions that he didn't necessarily want to have to fight for, and I think he's heavily dropped. I think he must have repaired damage as well, because
Ross,
if I look at the gap, it's about 8 seconds. So either Essa has done just a splash and dash and hasn't changed tires or something like that, or it's the damage on Bartle's car was much more than we thought, and he's repaired it, and Essa has not.
Now, in between Essa and Bartle, we've got a backmarker, I think. Let's see who it is.
Procump's in the pits, Bingham's in the pits, everybody's jumping in the pits now. It's almost halfway through the race.
Yeah.
Human's in the pits, Claessen's in the pits. Claessen's having Claessen's just sitting in the pits, I think. So we now have Jadwat still leading this race, doing very well out in front, nice and calm, cool and collected, coming up to lap 19th position, which is Simon, who hasn't pitted yet.
That's Donovan Danoon, a back marker in front of Bartle. It's being shown the blue flags.
So remember, at SimRace SA, we take what I like to call the GT approach rather than the Formula 1 approach to blue flags, i.e. it is up to the quicker driver to make their way past the slower driver. The slower driver does not have to change their racing line. In fact, it's recommended they don't. As I see, Jadwat is in the pits. Jadwat's in the pits. So it's recommended you don't change your line as the slower driver. But the key is when the faster driver makes a move, you are not allowed to fight it.
Yeah. Don't defend your position.
Yeah. Defend your position. So typically, if guys want to give a position, they might move over on the straights and just let somebody through.
That's precisely what Donovan's just done here at the end of the Camel Straight. Probably just ever so slightly lifted, and that's enough for someone to just get by.
And it's also the way you as the guy being lapped don't lose as much time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Kieran is now our de facto leader in the Ferrari. He is about to go past halfway. Kieran has, over the season, typically liked to run long. He
likes his late pit stops,
Yeah, he really does. So I would expect Kieran to only come in around the half an hour mark, I would say. Maybe
the latter third.
35, 35 minutes possibly, let's see. But I'm not surprised Kieran's doing this. I don't think it'll get him the overall lead of the race, but it could help him jump Brett Crocombe, who is currently down in 12th position, having done his pit stop, and the furthest guy ahead in terms of pit stoppers.
Yes.
Crowcamp with quite a good amount of clean air between himself and Warren Linder in the McLaren. Linder jumping into the pits now, exactly at the halfway mark.
So I'll allow Brett to get the jump on him.
Yeah,
Yep.
boys as well. Van der Vesthuizen in the pits, Heineke in the pits, Van Veek in the pits, and
Everyone's
Jadwat's
jumping in.
Bashes
in.
Stopped for a long time there. Here's Crowcamp. Crowcamp far back. So Crowcamp's coming down out of the source, and Jadwat is getting going, exiting the pits right now. Who's that on his tail? That is Schumann, so I don't think he's going to trouble him. And a good gap between Jadwat and Minnar. I think number 705 in that Audi. Haven't seen too much of Minnar this race.
Yeah, Phillips, he had a horrendous start. I remember he had a drive-through penalty off the green lights as well.
Yes, he did.
He's built his way back up to the top, but I reckon it's just artificial because of all the pit stops.
Yeah.
Although if he has pitted early, hopefully
No,
he's
not.
adjusted his... Did he not pit? Oh no, he would have just
No.
done his penalty. He's still got to do an actual stop.
Yeah, I remember if you get a drive-through or even a stop-go,
Doesn't count, yeah.
You can't take your mandatory pit stop doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Patterson's in the pits now. Alan Patterson's in the pits. Van der Vesthuizen, Boyce still in the pits. Linda is still in the pits. Marcus Steyn doing his stop-go now. Feels like a while since Steyn got given that. I'm hoping he hasn't got a second one. That would be truly disastrous for him.
Because you do have a limited number of laps to clear that penalty, otherwise you get
3.
disqualified. Yeah.
I think it's 3. Okay, so making sure he stops. I'll keep an eye, see if he does manage to clear that and doesn't get a second penalty. I'm looking at the gap now between Jadwat and Crowcamp, and Crowcamp's actually closed up during that pit stop phase. He was about 7.5 seconds between himself and Jadwat. It's now 5 seconds, so he's gained 2.5 seconds on Jadwat. Not enough to make him nervous, I would say, but certainly a good strategy there from Crowcamp.
Now Brett's going to be coming up to some traffic, although they do seem to get nicely out of the way quite quickly. So that probably wouldn't have affected him too much.
Philip Minar's now technically in second place, having not stopped. But as you say, that will change very quickly.
Yeah.
Patterson, Governor De Santos, all in the pits. Patterson, as we know, is Alan Patterson in the pits. Kieran Patterson is all the way out there on his own. Although working his way through 15th, 14th. So he is coming up against some traffic. Sean Bingham, the next man in his sights. Sometimes that can keep you a bit focused as a driver. You know, give you a bit of
a good target to follow. Yeah. Who's spinning?
Sorry. Who's that? 26th, 237.
237 is Jotun van Asviak. Let's see if I can catch 30 seconds and see what happened.
Looking at the car, I didn't see too much damage. I'm guessing it was his just having a little ballerina moment.
Yeah. Lost it.
Santos in the pits. That stop-go has been cleared for Heineke, so that's all good on his end. Right, so the only people who haven't pitted yet are Sean Stradom, who is in 7th in the Aston for Logistical Nightmare Racing, number 394, and of course our two leaders, Kieran Patterson and Philip Minnar. But Bashir Jadwat's actually pretty close behind Philip. He's about 7.5 seconds, and closing in at, I'd say, about a second or so a lap.
Rate of knots, really.
Yeah, it won't be long. The track has warmed up an entire degree, so we now are at 11 degrees.
Yep.
Really not, as I said.
It's still cold, relatively speaking.
Yeah, still very cold. And actually what I was finding personally is in my semi-long runs in practice over the weekend was that the pressures are what suffer, because as they drop, you know, you can lose pressure out the tires just by having the pressure drop with it being so cold.
Yep.
and touching any kind of curb. So maintaining tire pressure over the entire stint is very, very difficult here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
in
one
these
thing I actually
conditions.
noticed racing ACC myself, is that how sensitive the curbs are on some tracks, and you just squeeze some air out of the tire and you'll have your crew chief in your ear complaining, loss of pressure on the rear right or the right front or whatever it is. And
You've really got to plan your strategy
makes
properly.
a big difference in the handling of the car.
Patterson and Hall, sorry,
Yep,
for
I'm on it.
7th place. That's a good little battle we got going on here. 646 against 64. Lots of 6s and lots of 4s. McLaren on brand spanking new BMW.
Yep, he's just come out the pits. I'm sure he'll be feeling pretty fresh on some new boots.
We'll have to get them up to temps and pressures though. Doesn't seem to be slowing him down right now.
Nope.
If I jump on board, but let's see what sort of speed he gets to. Can I see 264, 56, 268 behind Patterson? I think that BM was naturally getting to about 265, if I remember correctly. So yeah, just a little bit of a slipstream there. The McLaren really not bad in a straight line. It's been always a bit underrated from a straight line performance. People think it's not great in a straight line, but actually it's half decent. See a few people in the pits, Stradom's in the pits at the moment. Very sideways from Hall. That's kind of what you see in that McLaren. Becomes so twitchy if you're not careful. I actually did a 12-hour race in McLaren with Kieran and some of the others. And around Silverstone, it's actually a great car. It doesn't really twitch too much because it's at such high speeds. It's quite stable through those. Like the medium speed and slower corners that it likes to try and kill you, particularly medium.
Let's see who else we have down the field. Got Jotun, and just behind Jotun, is that Quaid? No, Quaid's in the pits.
Yeah, he's been in the pits for quite a few laps now.
Yeah, there are a couple of guys that were promoted up from Division 2 for this race. Either just from getting a podium in the last race, but I think there are a lot of people who had excused themselves from this race, so a lot of additional people got some free passes, so to speak, to tonight's race.
Yeah, always fantastic to see new drivers into Div1. We typically run in ACC 2 divisions because we can have close to, I think it's 40 cars quite comfortably at every track in ACC. So yep, two divisions for the GT series, whereas typically we'll run almost 3 divisions, often for the touring cars, sometimes the Legends and GP as well.
Yeah, especially at the
Assetto Corsa, of course.
Popular series as well can have up to 3 divisions, we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, at SimSSA we do run 4 different series, so every Monday and Wednesday currently is what we're running. Certainly we're never going to move away from the Monday night stuff. Great way to start a week is with a proper race. But of course we have the GT series, which I guess some people refer to as our flagship series. Oh, I see. Sorry, Patterson and Minar both in the pits. So we'll see where Patterson comes out. Remember, he was battling Crowcump fairly heavily. So Crowcump is absolutely going to demolish Patterson. Well ahead of Patterson. Where is Essa? Essa is going to have closed in, I would say, on Patterson. Patterson exiting right now, and Essa going through Eau Rouge. So I think by the time they get to the very end of the Camel Straight, Essa will be only a
It's
few
behind
seconds
Kieran.
behind. Yeah. Bartle is closing in on Essa as well. It'd be interesting to know what lap times those two are doing. And sort of how quickly Bartle is closing in.
Yeah, Bartle's last lap was seemed quite slow, 2:19.1. Essa's 2:19.3.
Interesting. So, what's Jadwat doing? Just so we can get a sense if he's in the
Bash
18s
is
and
just
flying.
Flying 2:18.4.
Okay, so those two not
Significantly
having the best
faster,
of times
yeah.
right now. Yeah. So as we try and see if Esther can close down Patterson now. Yeah, we got every Monday night will be our Division 1 races, and we alternate. So I think we really start with touring cars. Actually, I think we go touring cars, then we go GP, then we go GT, and then we go Legends. So there's something for everybody. So of course, a Competizione, of course, running in the GT class. The GT series, I should say, and then we run a set of course for everything else. This year, of course, has been the fantastic touring cars, the 90s Super Tourings. That's been a huge amount of fun. We've been in the Minis for the Legends, and we've been in the Formula RSS V6, effectively the Formula 3 car.
Yep.
That was the GP for the season. We've run that for many
I was
seasons.
going to say, we're
That's
finally
changing.
retiring that one.
Yeah, it's been
a good
well
few
used.
seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, time for a nice change. It's going to be great running that Formula Supreme. Definitely an easier car to drive as well, Ryan.
Yeah, I
Much
found that
easier.
surprising. Yeah, and the base setups are very good compared to the F3. Even that casual, fun, friendly race we ran the other night. Very close times across the field, from the traditionally strongest guys to the rookies as well. So that was nice to see. I think it's quite promising for the new season.
Got Warren Linda in 19th place, number 141 McLaren, is all over the back of Hugo de Wit.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is for 18th. Of course, we've seen Hugo get quite feisty with a few people, having a good scrap, making a few overtakes. He's doing well in that Lexus. But now Linda is looking to try and catch him as we go through Pouon. Very slightly wide was de Wit, but it did seem to work for him actually. Linda had to be quite cautious on the accelerator through there.
Yeah.
Just going in quite deep to these corners is Linda, and I think that's
Compromising this.
Yeah, just costing himself a little bit. Definitely looks to be suffering from a fair amount of understeer in that McLaren. Look how much steering knock he's having to apply. And getting very late on the power to accelerate.
It's Warren
out.
Linda.
Yeah, I was just on board with him. Just having a look at his steering input as they go through Blanchimont.
See how he does now at the bus stop.
Oh, you see, I think that understeer's really hampering his progress at the moment. So the Verstazen's closing in the Los Santos. Need to recover a little bit. At the moment things are fairly spread out. So the Linda battle at the moment is the closest one. We will keep an eye on those deltas, see when a battle or two pops up, because it's still not done, this race, not by any means. Got half an hour to go, everybody. Ooh, Linda and de Wit all over those curves. You see what I mean by Rouge being quite forgiving. Here we go, he's in the slipstream is Linda.
He's having
Pulls
look.
out. Oh, he thinks about it. No.
Pulled out of it.
Backs out. Attacking those curves particularly aggressively through Les Combes. As he exits now down towards Brussels. I would imagine the McLaren should be strong through this section, but he does seem to be very hesitant on the throttle, on off.
It's possibly a little bit too twitchy. And he doesn't have the confidence to keep the power planted.
Even then, if just a nice, consistent on off again, that'll induce some understeer for sure. And it is allowing the bit to just scamper away a little bit. Does seem like he's fighting the car quite a lot, isn't it? We saw a lot of understeer through this section again, last lap. Oh, I've got Van der Vesthuizen all over the back of De Santos. De Santos got a really poor exit out of the bus stop.
Oh, Sass is going to have a look here. He's
That's
trying to make it
ooh.
stick. Nope.
De Santos should
Oh,
have,
he's pushed
should have
wide
closed
though
that.
as a result. I think he got nervous with Sass being on his inside.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
look how
definitely
close
got
he is to the
nervous
wall there. Just to try and
there.
get as much speed as he can up the hill and retake the
Wow.
position just
That
before Eau
worked a
Rouge, up
treat.
Radion. Oh, it's brilliant.
That was a well done. I did not see that coming, De Santos. Well played, sir. Well played.
He knew he could just keep the momentum there by running wide, almost touching the wall.
How did he know that, though?
But Sass is looking like he's, he was wanting to try and retake the position.
Going on board with Sass, you can hear. So I don't know if you were riding on board with
Also, the external cams.
with Linda.
Oh,
previous- Ooh!
what's happening? Yeah, he's dived up the inside. What happened to Chris there? Oh,
he's
Chris has got a drive-through.
Yep.
Oh,
For the track cuts.
that must have been it. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
That really
He must
is
have been
unfortunate.
riding his third and final warning.
Yeah. Trying to
Oh,
defend that place, and now that is a big cost. I think it's going to slip him. I think it's going to slip Chris down to like 21st place.
That's unfortunate.
That's going to be a big cost, unfortunately. The pits here are just
They're
so
brutal.
long. They really are. As you say, brutal.
Okay, part of me thinks that, he
Hang on, is this...
He ran wide.
Boyce, sorry.
Yeah.
David 18th in number 101 Lexus and Ardis Boys? No, sorry, I've got these wrong. It's Hugo de... Is this for position? What am I looking at here?
So we've got a...
Oh, Sean Straydom and David.
There's
There's
an
been
Aston.
an overtake. That's what's happened. They switched around. So
Yeah.
Straydom is now ahead of David, and my timing just hasn't updated. That's why I'm
Yeah.
confused. So we've missed that one. But what I am looking at the moment is Deploy trying to carve a way through Governor. They are going down the Kimmel Strait at the moment.
battle for the top 10.
Yeah, that coveted 10 spot. I tell you what, we should have a look at some championship potential standings with 25 minutes to go. So let me calculate that quickly. Of course, Crocombe is a bit of a fly in the ointment there. Having zeroed his points, so not affecting the championship in any way. Where's SR? So it doesn't really matter, but anyway, that in.
As we see
Patterson
Donovan.
doing very well right now.
Donovan to Noon getting out of the way there for Christian Deploy and Engine to continue their battle. What's that about Alan? Is he in...
He's in 6th place, doing very well, but of course
yes.
he zeroed his points as well.
Yeah,
so
he's sacrificed all his points for the BMW switch. Ross Bartle has caught up some ground here to Zahir Issa. Now he's stuck in traffic. Looks like he's behind... Might be Alan Patterson, who's pulled over there.
can't see Van Vieren. I think he's not here tonight. Okay. Drop round. Where does he go? Is Hugo not here tonight? Oh no,
Hugo
he's
is
18th.
down in 18th at the moment. To have made some ground on Warren Linda's McLaren.
So he's that.
This has just
Well,
exited
Sean's
the pits,
stride
having served his penalty, out in 21st position now, so yeah, that was a good 6-7 positions down.
Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, so currently, as expected, Bashir Jadwat supreme out front, 488. So he's not being troubled at all currently. Let's have a look. Right, so I think currently Ross Bartels on for second, with Christian Deploy and Kieran Patterson currently tied for third in the championship. And then because Paul Fenton and Sean Stratham aren't having great rounds at the moment, because of that, they then don't really come into it. So really what we're looking at is a battle for second here. So Ross Bartels on 472 points. Christian Deploy and Kieran Patterson on 468. So 4 points separate the second and third in the championship. So if Kieran can take a position, or if Christian Deploy can take a position, either one of those two, and I'd back Deploy to take Governor here, and that could... Hang on, what's his lowest round? Deploy... no, this counts for him. So, yeah, if Deploy can take this position, it's going to cement third in the championship for him.
Nice, so that's a really important position to get. I wonder if he knows this.
I'm sure he definitely knows that this is a counting round for him.
Yeah.
Definitely, because he's had round 4 was a complete drop round for him. So Christian Deploy really fighting for his championship spot right now. Patterson
Absolutely.
1.7 seconds behind Crocombe. If Patterson gets Crocombe, that changes things quite dramatically as well. So that would take Patterson from 97. So that would up him by 2 points. So that's the key, because Patterson's running so high in the standings in this race. It's an extra 2 points for one overtake for him, whereas it's only Governor, all sideways, all crossed up.
Oh no, let's
off
go.
the track,
Have a quick
and that's
replay.
it. Deploy has made the move, but Deploy really needs to get himself into 7th spot to secure third in the championship. So
This is the
he's
replay now.
got a ways to go, but it could happen. It could definitely happen. Let's update him. So he's now on 88 for this round.
Oh, he's lost it all on his own there. Clipped
Yep.
the inside curve and then trying to recover went onto the gravel. Probably a little bit
Yeah,
of an
that Ferrari
overcorrection.
can be tricky, hey?
Yeah.
Can be tricky. Bartels now closed up on Esser. So he was like 5 or 6 seconds behind Esser, remember?
Yeah.
7 seconds, sorry. Because we'd speculated about him either fixing damage or Esser not taking tyres or something like
Yeah.
that. And it's starting to pay off for Bartel, because he's all over the back of Esser.
That
He
bar,
has a whole gaggle of back markers.
yeah. That Bentley does look like it's had a bit of a wax and polish. It's looking clean again, so he probably did
Yeah.
repair damage.
And looking to be a good move. Maybe this will give him the impetus to make an on-track pass. I'm keeping an eye on Patterson as well, because he is closing in on Crocombe at about 2/10 a lap at the moment.
There's some traffic here, but they get out of the way nicely. Feathering the
very
throttle,
sideways,
very
yeah.
twitchy on this steering wheel inputs.
I think Ross might be struggling at the
Certainly
moment.
seems to be
despite him-
fighting the car through these corners.
Yeah, that's to me with the Bentley. That indicates that either his tire temps are full or his pressures are awful. Probably his pressures.
Temperature's climbed quite a bit. It's up to 14 now.
Oh yeah, it has.
From
Right, so
the-
that might have taken the pressures
Yeah.
a bit hot. And everybody's been saying with the new tire model that as soon as you hit around 27.9 or even 30, oh, this is
Oh,
really
look at that
cost
traffic.
Essa. Oh my goodness, Essa's going to be shouting at these Oaks. Don't you know there's a race on here, chaps? Of course they do. They're in their own race here. Just to get past without losing a spot, but here Bartle is probably the closest he's ever been through the through La Source. But look at that Porsche; it just scampers
Just
away.
seems to open the gap, yeah.
And Essa will be getting a tiny bit of a
Draft, yeah.
draft, as you say. You see how
Has to lift, keep it under control.
it might have been worried about a track cut potentially.
Yeah, potentially. A slight gain, not really significant.
Yeah, he needed to be.
Oh, it's
closer.
tight under braking. Back marker trying to stay out of the way. There we go.
Car on its roof. I see Hugo de Witt is on his roof.
Oh my word.
He's in 21st. He's.
Oh
how
my
he
word.
does that?
How has he done that? I've got to go and put a replay on this.
I don't know when that happened.
Oh, we're about to find out.
I think he's disconnected.
Ah, yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, so
No
I don't know how he ended up
catastrophic
on the roof,
accidents, unfortunately.
but
That seems to
that
be
was
a
impressive.
disconnect.
Okay, Kieran Patterson now 1.4 seconds behind Crocump, so I'm expecting around 15 minutes. No. Oh, Crocump getting quite raggedy there, feeling the pressure I think at the moment that Patterson is putting on. Remember, Patterson on much fresher tyres has stayed out much longer. Here we go. Bartle once again looking to attack Essa. We have seen this time and time again, giving us a real value for money tonight of these two.
Absolutely.
One small tap, one tiny mistake between them this whole race. I think Bartle's quite worried about track cuts because every time he just runs slightly wide, you can hear him feathering the throttle to make sure he doesn't get a warning. So I'm guessing he's on his last warning.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's taking any chances.
I think
Just
Patterson took
lapping.
4/10 out of Crocump that lap.
Gallon there. Gets nicely out of the way, doesn't
Yeah.
impact the battle.
Well done, Alan. Just what we've come to expect from you. Yeah, you see that time he didn't feather the throttle exiting Eau Rouge. And now he's starting to close in 260 k's an hour. 265, but it's not enough. 266, and that's all she wrote. And into the left, right. He's just so on the back of Essa, but can't make anything through Les Combes. Never going to make a move on Essa through Les Combes. Too good of a driver. Patterson now 7/10 behind Crocump. Oh, very sideways there through Brussels was Bartle. I think this Patterson-Crocump battle is about to heat up a lot.
Yep, just 15 minutes left. I'm sure guys are going to start, well, certainly getting a little bit desperate, going for some moves.
Yeah, especially with some championship positions on the line. I'm not sure if they know about it or not. Luckily, but Bartle doesn't really have to worry too much. He's got second wrapped up if he can just bring this home. And Bash, of course, has first place wrapped up, unless he really makes a mistake or has a disconnect or something like that.
Yep.
We never wish that on any driver, of course. Ooh, Essa running very wide there. very wide on the exit exit of 16, not Stella low, that's 15, but still. Through Blanchimont, 18, and looking into the bus stop. A bit of gap between them. Patterson, Patterson looking for a move. Patterson looking for a move into La Source. Not happening. Thinking better of it. Definitely the right move. You got the quickest car in a straight line, Kieran. You should do. You're right under that wing of the new M4. Get under the wing more. Why is he pulling out? Oh, I don't think he wants the toe yet. He doesn't want the toe.
Not just yet.
Yeah.
Disrupt
Now,
his line.
Look, that's clever. That's clever, Kieran. Well done. Now is when you're in the slip properly.
This should be a done deal.
I don't know. Krocump has gone very, very, very defensive early, not allowing Kieran the slipstream. Side by side, in they go through Le Com. Oh, Kieran, not Kieran, sorry.
Oh,
Krocump
he's
getting
gone
very
sideways.
Oh my goodness. Drift mode activated in that M4.
Good stuff.
Kieran is up, and that gives him third place in the championship.
It's
as we currently stand.
Certainly reaching for some medals here. Can he hang on to them?
Definitely. So with drops, we've got Ross on 472 for second. We've got Kieran on 470 for third, and Christian Deploy on 469. Unless Deploy has worked his way up, he's in ninth at the moment. Let me just redo my maths. Hang on. They are back level. Can you believe it? They are back level. And
we'll have to go to the rulebook for a tiebreaker.
I mean, both of them have one win apiece. Kieran, I think, would take it because he has a second place. And Christian's best result is a third place apart from his win.
Yeah.
So I think currently Kieran would squeak it on a tiebreaker. But if Christian Deploy can get himself into 8th position, so he's 8 seconds behind Hannes van Veek, and he's got 12 minutes to make up 8 seconds and make a pass. That's a big ask.
That's a big ask. Yeah.
Yeah, Hannes van Veek is close behind Paul Venter, so if those two start battling, that could bring Christian Deploy into play. So our friends Bartel and Essa are still battling away. Bartel definitely with the quicker car, but just unable to find a way through, and it's been like that basically this whole race. Ooh, Bartel running very wide. He will have had to back off.
With that track limit, yeah.
Yeah, no, he will have backed off to make sure that he doesn't get a
warning.
track cut. Because that will really, if he gets a drive through, that could easily end his championship hopes for second place.
Yeah, second place contention. Yeah.
Ross is not one to give up though. He goes all in every race.
Just having a look at Sass here. I think he's has he just made a move on Philip?
Was Philip about to make a move on Sass? He's very close behind.
Looking very
Sass.
racy. Yeah.
So I know Philip loves a very twitchy car. The Audi is naturally twitchy. So is he going to twitch his way into a place?
Oh, he's got it done. Yep.
Quality there from Philip. Excellent pass. Ooh, hang on. Deploy is in the pits. Why is Christian Deploy in the pits?
That is interesting.
This is going to lose him third place for sure in the championship.
It's unfortunate. There's no penalty being served. I wonder if he's miscalculated his fuel?
It must be. That can be the only thing. He's not got any damage on the car. Like, it's not like nurse tires, no matter what condition they're in, all the way home. So that's put cat amongst the pigeons.
Jeez.
We'll have to see where he comes out, and I'll redo redo my calcs, it might give a couple of other guys jumps in their championship spots.
Yep. Having a look, a little backmarker battle here between Jotun van Asjochen and Ronald Charles. Neck and neck. Actually, no, that's a Ferrari.
That's a Ferrari.
Yeah, stand
There's,
corrected. 91.
lapping-
That's Sass.
Sass, yeah. So Sass
Ah,
is
he's
trying to
putting a lap
him.
on him. Yeah.
That's what's going on there. Yeah, I think Bartle's tyres might be suffering a bit because he's definitely not.
Ooh, Hardest is off the track in his Beamer. Not sure what happened there.
He's recovered. He's recovered in 15th. So he's lost one place to Sean Stradom. And Christian Deploy is now behind Stradom.
Yeah, 16th.
I don't think that affects things too much, actually. I think Sean Stradom will have wrapped up 4th in the championship quite comfortably, unless I've missed somebody.
How's it, Brent, on the YouTube chat? How you doing?
So Patterson's now. Oh, I've got a yellow.
What are you seeing?
Governor marked yellow for a second there. Don't know why. Maybe he had an incident all on his own. No, it's not brought Heineken into play. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
Seems stable here.
Bartle's dropping back from SNI's gaps over a second.
Yep.
So Deploy really trying to gain back a few places after having to make that extra pit stop for some reason. We're assuming it's fuel.
Must have been fuel. SJS Games, I think that's Mr. Sebren. How are you doing?
Oh, fantastic to see everybody in chat. Ooh, we've got Hannes van Wyk all over the back of Paul Venter, or is it Paul Venter who's just taken? I think Paul may just have taken Hannes van Wyk.
Okay.
Or
Eventually.
7th spot. Yeah.
The track continues to get warmer and warmer, up to 16 degrees now, from a starting temperature of 9 track temperature.
Cooking. It's absolutely cooking now. Yeah, these small changes in position unfortunately aren't making too much difference in the championship as yet, although of course the big one is Christian Deploy has fallen heavily back now, so he's definitely out the running for 3rd. Yeah, but he will be 4th in the championship, no worries, I think. Alright, so closing minutes, 5 minutes to go in this race. It's been quite a good race, particularly with Bartle and Essa just going at it, hammer and tongs, this whole race. It's
Yeah.
they, apart from the pit stop phase, they've
inseparable.
been together.
Yeah.
Really hogging the stream time as well. Very selfish of them, but they couldn't decide. well, I guess they have decided who wants to be ahead at this stage, but Bottle unable to make a proper move yet.
Certainly has seemed to be frustrated most of the race. Just stuck behind her here.
Our closest battle on track at the moment, I think, is Van Wyk and Venter, but I think Venter is starting to pull away from Van Wyk now.
Yep, looks like that position is safely his.
So it looks like it's going to be another championship win for Bashir Jadwat here at Sim Race SA. A fantastic season all the way through for Bash. Literally only one hiccup. I think that was round 3, which trying to remember which was round 3. Hang on. Alton Park, yes, Alton Park, and that's where he had all kinds of melodies. There were, I seem to remember he didn't have false feedback for a while. There's sort of half disconnects. It was
technical difficulties.
Really a race to forget for him. But yeah, been a wonderful championship challenge by Bashir Jadwat, and it looks like he is going to reap the rewards. Potentially a win tonight, and one other win, a couple of second places as well. So done pretty well, 4th place in round 5, and that's gonna wrap it up. The championship for him with 488 points. A good, so that's 16. Hang on, mental math. 16 points ahead of Ross Bartle as things stand. Bartle having closed in under a second once again to Essa. Maybe a last-ditch attempt with 2 minutes 50 to go. I imagine. Let's have a look where Jadwat is on track. There will be one more lap after this one, I would hazard a guess. So Jadwat currently on the penultimate lap. Kieran Patterson has driven pretty darn well this race. He was your pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And he's got himself a P2. He can keep it for another 2.5 minutes.
A great result for Kieran. I'm just thinking...
Does that put him into contention for overall championship?
No.
Not?
No,
still out of
definitely
reach.
not. Yeah, Bartle.
P3, I mean.
Bartle, sorry. Yeah, Jadwat needed to have a real shocker for it to go to someone else, but he is going to be P3 in the championship.
Yes, that's
Only
what I meant. Overall, P3.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
P3 definitely, and he is going to be 2 points behind Bartle. So
Yeah, very
close.
close.
Between
Yeah.
those two, and having his second best result of the season as well. So finishing quite strong this season is Patterson. Ferrari, not bad around here. If you can just hold on to it, pretty good car around Spa as it turns out.
Yep, I think just the Ferrari powered engine, there's enough straights to really lay down the advantages of the car. As we see Zander Human get a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that's a horrible time to get it right at the very, very end of the race. Bashir Jadwat is going to start his final lap just now. I think he'll cross the line with probably 20 seconds to remaining. So Bartle's really got one lap left to try and do something about this elusive 4th position. The driver, of course, wanted to make that fatal error. Of course, I think the finish line is different to the start line.
Oh, yeah.
Which is always a bit of a quirk here at Spa.
Yeah, so the start is there, but the finish is further back, just after the bus stop.
I think what they try to do in GT is ensure that there isn't a being side by side on a rolling start, make sure there's no pile up through Eau Rouge with them getting a big run down to Eau Rouge and then also, of course, into La Source.
Very sensible.
You know what these drivers are like, Ryan? They just can't control themselves.
And there we go, the clock hits 0.
Ticks down to 0, as you say. I I see Philip Minnar is closing in hand over fist onto Chris Heineke. The gap is now down to under a second. I think he drive through for Hannes van Veek now. Oh my goodness. That's unfortunate. That's going to affect
Oh,
things.
he takes it straight away. Fortunately,
Yeah.
at the right side of the track to be able to dive straight into the pits. But yeah, that's going to be
I mean, there's,
devastating. It'll drop him out of the top 10, I think.
Yeah, I'll give Sean Bingham and Endrin Governor a place. I mean, a shout out to Sean and to Endrin, both keeping their noses clean.
Yes.
Endrin this season's had quite a few unfortunate incidents. I'm sure he's going to be over the moon to have a top 10 finish on a high note. Same with Sean Bingham. What a great drive Sean has had tonight. Got a couple of back markers in front of him, but really doing well in that Aston tonight. I think he was a bit worried. Wasn't sure that he was going to be able to have the pace in that Aston, but doing very well. 8th position currently, 9th position currently for Endrin Governor.
Bash flashing his lights. As he approaches the bus stop. Frustration, or perhaps just some early celebrations.
Oh, sorry, I meant for the man in the pits. But yeah, Bashir Jadwat finishing
Takes
the
the
race.
flag.
Takes the flag and the championship. What an absolute consummate professional
Fantastic.
Bash has been as he slides
Drifts
the
it
car
down, yeah.
into La Source and parks it backwards. That is phenomenal. Kieran Patterson, of course, putting it into the wall. Doesn't need that Ferrari anymore. What a great result for Kieran. Really, really excellent
Good
second
job, Kieran.
position.
And securing
And
third
a
in the
shout
championship.
out to Brett Crowcump. 3rd place. Podium finish for
Well
Mr.
done.
Crowcump in Division 1. What a race by him. Very well done. Excellent finish. Ross Bartle and Zahir Essa, of course, coming across the line. Fantastic stuff by them as well. I think we're going to see quite a few more BMs in the next season.
Yep.
But yeah, we've got Dwayne Hall, Paul Fenter, they're still coming around. They will come across the line shortly, I am sure. I will go and have a look for.
Yeah, see if we can pull anyone in for a little chat.
Yeah, I imagine Bash will come and have a.
So let me see if you guys doing some donuts.
Get the champagne out of his hands. But yeah, a really fantastic race, and what a way to end the season as well. There's
Yeah,
Bash.
definitely.
Let me bring him in.
What a great race.
There he is. Bash, how was that for you? Well done. Congratulations on the championship win.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I was not expecting this one because I had 0 practice until yesterday, but fortunately we had a great tune from the World Cup, so I just used that as my base. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that tune from from Z and the guys. But sure, it was a tough race. I think Crowcamp was flying in the BMW, and
Yeah, he was, eh?
Yep.
and I got a bit lucky at the start. I think Z and
Ross
Bartle
Bartle,
had a
yeah.
great fight.
They had a ding-dong battle the entire race, and fairly early into the race, they got turned around. Well, I think Bartle's just tapped the back end of Zahir, and they both obviously needed to yield, and that lost them a position or two, which obviously put them out of the fight towards the top end. But
I see.
yeah.
After that I just built a gap, and then I just watched what the times were behind and tried to match it, because I was not prepared for the race and I didn't want to push and put myself in the wall.
Yeah, I remember talking about that to Nick, because we thought you might be managing your tyres and managing the pace a little bit there. So yeah, well managed.
Yeah, very well done. And I find it. I'm going to pull Zahir in as well, because he's there for a chat. But I find it intriguing that with the new update, you said that you just chucked on your setup, or the setup you guys had for the World Cup.
It was a rude awakening yesterday because the setup didn't work, but I had to make 1 or 2 changes.
Okay,
Is
so
that
you
due
didn't
to
have
the platform update, or what wasn't working for you?
Well, it's the first time I drove since that major update.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a rude awakening yesterday, but
Yeah.
Lies.
Hello.
Here's here. How you
Hey,
doing?
it was the Coach Z training, man. It worked.
Yeah.
See, how was that battle with Bartle? The whole race, eh? You couldn't get him off your tail.
Yeah, it was tough. This car is just an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. But
Well, you
A
seem
nightmare here
to.
It's
or a
fine.
nightmare now that the updates come through?
well, I've never really driven Spa in anger in the Porsche. I don't really have a setup. And then with the updates, I think everything's got broken anyway.
Yeah. Well, regardless,
it
it seemed like you kept Bartle behind you. Well, I mean, he certainly seemed very frustrated the entire race.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the spin. I'm busy watching the replay now. But
Yeah, it looked like the slightest of taps coming out of the bus stop, I think.
Yeah, it really was tiny.
yeah, so ACC still hasn't fixed that.
Yeah, I was reading the other day that it's the collision detection. There's such a the detection box actually slightly inside the car rather than outside. So when you do make contact, it does tend to over exaggerate. But it was an epic battle for us to watch. I mean, that the Porsche exiting the bus stop and exiting the source just seems to have the advantage over everything else, and that means
Yeah.
that, you know,
Yeah, I think it's the slowest thing in the straight line though. But
The
so
Poker, yeah.
you had a good couple kph on me, so I just had to make sure I nail my exits, and
That's
he was
exactly what Nick said.
Just catching me at the end of the straight there, but it was never enough. So
Yeah.
it was actually pretty chilled. It's bad.
Excellent.
I'm glad that was pretty chilled for you. The rest of us were quite impressed with the two of you and the great the great sportsmanship that you both showed. And hopefully we will see you guys back for next season. Of course, we will be back here in the GTs. So will either of you be taking the M4 yet?
I'm a Porsche fan. It's like it's so lively and it's fun. So I don't mind what they've done to it with the update. It's just I'm in it for the fun. It's quite fast
Okay.
as well.
It's a good
I
job.
want to try something a bit different next year, so not,
Okay.
not the BM though. I'm
Alright.
pretty sure it's gonna be nuffed
Yeah.
by the time I
Oh.
choose it.
Yeah.
The whole grid's gonna be BM.
Yeah, we always see that, right? The new car comes out and everyone jumps in the new car. But
Yeah. As soon as I jump on it, it'll be nerfed. Like, that's the cue. That's generally the cue.
okay, so make sure you don't jump on it, so everybody else can have a great season and possibly catch the two of you, because you've both been absolute class. Obviously, Z, you saw that you couldn't make a couple of the rounds, or there were drops. I can't remember why, but it's been phenomenal watching the both of you, and we've really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
Epic.
Cheers.
Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in as well. Cheers, everyone.
See you next season.
Ciao, ciao.